Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Benjamin and your boy Luis, aka Typhoon, and you're watching the Patriot Flex Podcast or listening to the Patriot Flex Podcast.
Look, they watching us, bro. We on YouTube. We didn't get this $4,000 camera for nothing, bro. All right. Look, so today we got a banger, because we got the GOAT. Well, to some people, he's probably the worst of all time, but to some people, he's the greatest of all time. But the GOAT of getting absolutely wrecked daily on social media, TV, just the media in general, right? Because he's always getting attacked, right? Very controversial figure.
Very polarizing.
Very polarizing figure, exactly. Yeah, very true. But today we got Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
A.K.A. Agent Orange, a.k.a. Teflon Don.
All right, yeah. And so we're going to react to a video today. Boom, there it is, because I'm such a great producer. And it's titled, Pink-Haired Communists Teaching Our Kids. Trump Reveals Plan to Save American Education. So in the last video, we did go over Governor DeSantis.
Foxtrot 1.
Yeah, Foxtrot 1 over there in Florida, saying that queer theory shouldn't be taught in African-American studies, or, they had that whole debate about the course. So in this one, again, it's dealing with education, but this time it's Donald Trump speaking about it. So let's see what he has to say. And so it's a pretty short video, 4.5 minutes. So we'll pause it a few times and give our thoughts, because I'm sure it's going to be a lot to uncover.
Our public schools have been taken over by the radical left maniacs. Here is my
Boom.
They sure as hell have.
Maniacs. Dang, he going for the jugular right off the rip.
Right off rip.
public schools have been taken over by the radical left maniacs. Here is my plan to save American education, restore power to American parents. First, we will cut federal funding for any school or program pushing critical race theory, gender ideology, or other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto our children. We're not...
Okay. So he's going to cut funding, federal funding, for any schools that are pushing critical race theory.
That's big.
And what else did he say there? The gender stuff?
Plan to save American education with the power of American parents. First, we will cut federal funding for any school or program pushing critical race theory.
All right, so critical race theory. One thing about that, right? I saw a video where somebody was asking, they're a very conservative person. They were asking them, what do you think about critical race theory? And I think he had a very good answer. And what he was saying was that certain things shouldn't be taught to grade level kids, but if they want to be taught at the college level or at the high school level, and have it be a part of different theories, right? So you teach different theories. You can teach critical race theory, you can teach other theories. Then it seems more appropriate because you're presenting different options or different viewpoints. But when you teach critical race theory and only critical race theory, and you teach it to young kids, it seems more like it's a indoctrination into a certain way of thinking. Yeah. So I thought that person gave a really good answer. I can't remember right off the top of my head who it was, but I thought that was a pretty good answer. And because of course, if you say you're going to ban a certain theory outright, it sounds like you're suppressing an ideology. But if you say, hey, you can teach it, but teach the other forms too, and then just let people decide what they want to go with, I mean, that seems a lot more reasonable. Do you have anything to say about this part for critical race theory? Cutting federal funding, that's huge.
I'm glad that Foxtrot 1 and Teflon Don are on the same page regarding this. My opinion, critical race theory should be kept at the university level and should never touch grade school, not even high school. I believe that critical race theory, it enforces a mindset that was taught to the majority, I believe, of Black kids. You know, the culture or the parents will lie to you and say, yeah, I teach my kid that they could be who they want to be. They could do what they want to do. But that's sort of hard to do when you're always telling your kid that you were born
What a disadvantage.
that you were born with a disadvantage, and that just the color of your skin, you're going to have someone's foot on your neck.
I think you're born with a disadvantage if you're born in different socioeconomic,
That's true.
in a different socioeconomic class, right? Like, you know, if you're born into a poor family, or, you know, a family that didn't have a lot of education, things like this, yeah, it can set you back, but that doesn't mean that you can't make it on your own either. You know, yes, but that's just life, bro. That's just say, yes, it's unfair. Life is unfair,
But
right? Like, stop bitching about it. You're not gonna get anywhere by bitching about it, right?
But I
So
think that you say this a lot. It enforces the victim mentality,
yeah.
and that's not something that you want to put in a impressionable child's mind, because studies have shown that the majority of human thought is negative. Is I can't do this. I have trouble doing that. While your thoughts turn into reality. So if you immediately, if you're taught that I am at a disadvantage than my classmate just based off the color of my skin, and you're being harped on that day in and day out, then that's going to turn to fruition into your everyday life, into puberty, into adulthood.
You're basically hypnotizing yourself, bro. Because you will believe what you say. You have to believe what you say, and you have to say it with confidence.
Let me ask you a question, bro. And music, it is sort of hypnotizing, right?
It's very hypnotizing.
Thank God I wasn't into rap when I was a child. But speaking of rap, who's your favorite rap artist?
I don't have a favorite rap artist. I'm my favorite rap artist.
No, I don't. Okay, I do have a favorite rap artist, right? But I'll have to think about it. But my favorite producer / DJ, it's DJ Khaled. Why? Because he gives such a positive message in every song. He reminds himself that we the best. Oh, I hope that didn't peak. I'm sorry.
It definitely peaked. Yeah, I saw everything go red.
We the best.
But we the best.
We the best.
We the best. You say it over and over again, you're gonna believe it, but you gotta say it with confidence, right? So if you go about life and you just, oh, I'm sad, and I say that because I used to be that, right? I kept saying, oh, I got this, I got that, right? It doesn't help you at all. Every day I wake up feeling like a fucking badass. And guess what? I walk through the day feeling like a fucking badass, all right? So if you sit there and you say like, oh no, I'm poor, I'll probably always be poor, oh, I can't do this, oh, I can't do that, guess what? You're going to be stuck there. You're going to be stuck there, right? You have to attack it, even if you know you're not going to make it, right? If there's some weight, because Benny here, bruv, let me tell you, he likes to put weight on these machines at the gym. He likes to grab big dumbbells, right? And you know what happens is he'll come over and he'll put some weight on the bar, and then he'll bench it, right? And then he'll be like, all right, you want to, well, maybe not with bench, right? Because everybody knows I'm good with bench, but maybe some other stuff. He'll be like, yeah, you want to put down the weight? I'm looking at him, the fuck you mean you want to put down the weight? Nah, you did 95, I'm doing 95, right? I may believe in my head, I'm just like, fuck, 95. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get that. But guess what? On the outside, I'm like, nah, I'm fucking doing 95. And I'll give it a shot. And guess what? Like, if I really just can't do it, my form's all fucked up, I'm going to hurt myself or something. Yeah, I'll change it. I'll switch it up, right? Bring it down a little or whatever. But the point is, always go for it the first try, because you never know. If you just automatically assume, oh, I'm probably not gonna make it, then guess what? You're not gonna lift that weight. Or guess what? If you change the weight and you didn't even try it, well, now you don't even know if you could lift it. You might have been able to lift it. And it's the same thing every single day. If you walk around with the victim mentality, victim shit is gonna happen to you, right? There was a study done, and they tried to figure out if some people are really just more lucky than others. And as it turns out, you're not. But the people that were the most lucky were the people who believed that they were lucky. Like, y'all don't understand how much power you have just right here, right? So just like DJ Khaled, you got to walk around and be like, we the best. We the best, right? We're looking at our sub count. We ain't gotten much right now. But guess what we keep saying? Oh, guess what? In X amount of months, we're going to have 1 million subscribers. Oh, by next year, we're going to have this many subscribers. Oh, some of y'all may think we just talking shit. But guess what? When that milli hits, we ain't going to be talking shit. We just going to be talking facts. So you got to do the same thing every single day. Fuck all that victim mentality shit. You full steam ahead. All right, let's see what else he says.
Gender ideology.
Gender ideology, bro. Why you asking 6 years old what they identify as? Right? Like, nobody fucking knows, bro. Half the people in high school, I would say most of the people in high school, don't even know what they're actually going to do with their lives. The average person, apparently, I mean, I don't know how recent this study is, probably from a long time ago, because I heard it a long time ago. But they said that the average person changes career paths like 3 times in their life.
You know what? The thing about it is like, they want to teach gender ideology. These fools, they want to allow our youth to transition before puberty. Their brain isn't even done developing yet. And I can't remember what state it's in. It might be Florida. I wouldn't put this past Foxtrot 1, okay? But in one of the conservative states, they make it so that if you're a doctor and you assist in transitioning a minor, that up until, like, this is like in the 20s, if they change their mind, they're able to come back and sue the doctor.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because I have heard that there's a lot of children who they let them do it like when they're adolescents, like teenagers and stuff. And then later on, they're just like, shit, I made a mistake. You know what I mean? So, and by then, they've been taking so much, stuff.
Therapy.
Maybe they had a surgery, maybe they didn't, it's crazy, man. Like, I think if you're a full-grown adult, right? Say you're mid-20s, you decide you want to transition. Now, I know to Ben, you're probably still a little kid. He's probably still young, right? But say you're a full-grown adult. You decide, no, this isn't, I don't feel like I'm supposed to feel. I'm supposed to be a different gender. Hey, you want to do whatever it is. Fine. I don't care. Me personally, look, you're 25 and up, do whatever you want to do. Live your life. Be whoever you want to be. I don't care. Just don't let it affect me, right? That's the libertarian way of thinking. If it doesn't affect me, do whatever you want, right? So if people want to do that, by all means, go ahead. But don't tell these kids, because kids are very impressionable. We know kids are impressionable, right? So if you start teaching kids about all this stuff in elementary school, middle school, whatever, like, you're going to get kids who are unsure, and maybe they wouldn't have done it, but they'll do it because it's being pushed so much. And and I feel like it's not, I feel like they're just like promoting it now, like encouraging it now. It's not like, oh, here's this thing that happens. Some people are this way, some people are that way. It's like, it's almost like it's encouraged, right? And you're just confusing a lot of people when it comes to all this gender identity stuff. Like it's borderline ridiculous when you're doing it to kids. And I've even had a trans friend say that they don't like the whole thing with the kids, right? So they're just like, nah, it's for adults. Leave the kids out of it. I guarantee you, even a lot of trans people would probably be like, bro, leave the kids out of it. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know, man. Let's see. Who else are we going to cut funding to, Donald?
Or other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto our children. We're not going to allow it to happen. Next, I will direct the Department of Justice and Education to open civil rights investigations into any school district that has engaged in race-based discrimination.
Wait.
Race-based discrimination. All right. We're going to run that back.
Yeah. Keep on going.
Our public schools have been taken over by the ideology or other inappropriate. We're not going to allow it to happen. Next, I will direct the Department of Justice and Education to open civil rights investigations into any school district that has engaged in race-based discrimination. That includes discrimination against Asian Americans, the Marxism being preached in our schools.
Discrimination against Asian Americans. Bro, I got a lot to say on this one. Yes.
Okay, talk.
A lot. All right, because check it out. So, there's this idea that we need to balance out, you know, the diversity in schools, right? Now, and I'm speaking specifically about college campuses, right? Because I know maybe he might be talking about like lower grade schools, but he could be talking about universities and college.
I think he's talking about universities.
I think he's talking about specifically university, but since they were talking about like the kids,
the CRT and all
the kids, so I feel like it might be whatever. Doesn't matter. But look, in colleges and universities, right, they make it very difficult for Asian Americans, right? Because the thing is that if colleges were if it was all performance based, right? There's no, we're going to have this much of this race, this much of that race. If it was just all performance based, everybody's an equal. Bro, Harvard, Yale, Rice, MIT, all these Ivy League schools would just be full of Asians. Full of Asians.
I have something to say about this. Here's my thing, okay? And for those of you who don't know, just a little insight into my personal life. My fiance is Asian, okay? My best friend is Asian. I'm down with him.
He's talking about me. I'm Korean.
All right. That's just a full disclosure. Listen, the Asians, once you let the floodgates go, once you take away all this nonsense restricting how many Asians you are allowed to admit into the schools, or you have to diversify or what have you, then if us as Americans, we're a competitive nation. Like in sports, okay, well, you know, whoever's the best player, they make the team, right?
Exactly.
Whoever's the fastest, whoever's the strongest.
Yeah.
Why should we feel differently regarding scholastics? What? Because it hurts your feelings that your kid isn't good enough to get into Yale, or it hurts your feelings that your kid isn't good enough to get into a university. Okay. Well, if you're competitive, well, do something about it, bitch. Bombocrat. Do something about it. Okay, like this is, life is a competition.
Yes, sir.
All right. If you want to get into this game, into the same school, then do what the Asians do. Okay, buckle down, hold your kids accountable, and say, you know what? I'm not letting you out of this room until you are a fucking doctor. Okay?
Yeah, and look,
now make it happen.
The thing is that, like, it's not that any race is just smarter than other people.
It's not.
Because people say, like, oh, it's like they're just smart. Like, they're not just smart. They're not just smart.
Culture and habit.
I have been around Asian people when they are studying and doing academics and this and that and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
They do math like earlier, right? They increase their level of math when they're younger, right? In Asian schools, right? That's why like people come over from other countries, international students, you know, they do very well at math. Why? Oh, well, they were doing it when they were in 6th grade, and well, when the same math they were doing in 6th grade, and now they're in like 11th grade.
In China, they're not allowed to use
like calculators and stuff.
They're not even for calculus, bro.
Not even for calculus? Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Either way, they work hard, right? That's the thing, is they work hard. They have this like if you talk to Asian students, you know, there's a pressure there from the parents. And that pressure there is good because it makes the children work harder. And then when you pair that with the fact that they have a mother and a father in the home, you know, they got 2 people to answer to, right? And because there's 2 parents in the home, it's more likely that one of them works and one of them's there watching over them. Did you do your homework? Let me see it. Let me check it. You know, things like that. Stop playing video games. Study. You got a test coming up. Let me see your grades. It's accountability. They have a lot of accountability around them. And Asian people, sometimes they even have like a grandparent who lives in the house too. So even if both parents work, somebody's still there, right? So it's not that they're smarter. It's just the mentality and the way they go about parenting and the way they go about, you know, because if you like, there's a woman who's like the first Latina to go to space. Like she's a Hispanic. She's a full-blown fucking astronaut. She's doing big things. You know what I mean? Like plenty of black people go and do big things. You know, you got a Swedish guy who, like Elon Musk, he's the richest man in the world. He's not even American, bruv. He's like Swedish or something, right?
No, he's African American. No.
Oh, he's from South Africa?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. Okay, he's from South Africa. My bad. I thought he was from Sweden or something. I don't know why I thought he was from over there. But you know what I mean? Like people come from all over the place. People everywhere are intelligent. It's not that they're just born with it. You know, maybe some people are born with like an accelerated mind than other people, but most people can get by just fine just by working hard.
Genetics is a real thing. Look.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, like genetics plays
a
factor.
Ben doesn't lift weights. This is all just his genetics. He was just born like this. You should see his baby pictures.
You know, like, I'm not going to downplay the impact of genetics, even when it comes to the mind and how one thinks. But the thing about it is if you are able to identify that you need to put forth a little bit more a little more effort, then it's your job to work on those habits. It's not anyone else's.
Yep.
Okay. It's not anyone else's to assist you. And if you are a parent, a big brother, big sister, or a leader in your family, the CEO of your family, then it's your job to get everyone in gear. Okay, and get everyone on the same page that if your dream is to go to Harvard, then you have to outwork this person.
All right, so before I get back into this affirmative action stuff, bro, pass me the soju.
Oh, okay.
See, I thought I was playing when I said I'm Korean, right? Yeah, I thought I was playing. But see, the thing about this affirmative action stuff, right? It's like, hey, you know, the idea behind it, which I actually think it comes from the right place.
It had its place.
It comes from the right place. Like they're trying to do a good thing, right? I won't deny that, right? It's basically saying, look, you know, African Americans have been given a worse education over however long period of time, you know, which means that, and they come from neighborhoods that were kind of, you know, like we've neglected them because, you know, back when they had the whole segregation and this and that. So like they've had a harder time through the generations. So we need to help them out and try to get them, you know, to where everybody's at baseline, right? And so they say, all right, we're gonna.
But it starts in the house, bro.
Yeah, and some universities are like, all right, we need to have, you know, this many percentage of black students, this percentage of Asians.
School can't help it.
You know,
affirmative action at work can't help it. Look,
they're trying to balance it out.
But
look.
Wait. Black women are amongst the most educated group in America. Okay, black women are kicking ass regarding education. Guess what? They're the second most poorest in America. As a group, black women.
Damn.
Okay, so it starts in the home.
So that's true. Everything does start in the home because remember, a home, right? You got the home, you got the street, neighborhood, city, state, country, right? It all goes up.
It's all about habits.
You start at the house. But I think the reason why Donald specifically here addresses Asian Americans is because Asian Americans have to try harder just to get into the universities where other people don't have to try as hard. Now, I'm not saying they're not trying hard, right? But like, let's say, for example, SATs. Now, I don't know what the range of SAT scores is, right? But say an African-American student has to reach this certain level, right? And let's say a white student has to reach this certain level. Well, Asian students got to reach this level to get into that university. They've got to score like far better because they're competing with all the other Asians who also get high scores, right? So now we have a whole bunch of Asians who have higher scores than all the white kids, the Hispanic kids, the Latino, the Native American kids, the African American kids. They got better scores than all of them. But guess what? All the Asian slots got filled up already. They got beat out by other Asian kids. So now they don't get to go to the university, right? So you're making Asian students have to try exceedingly harder to get into the same universities than other people are, right? And it's all in the name of we're going to balance out the student.
It shouldn't be balanced out.
You know what I mean? So it's not a fair game. It's not point A to point B, sprint, let's see who gets there first. It's not.
Listen, do you guys complain about diversity when the entire U.S. track team is black?
No.
Fuck no. Do you guys complain about diversity when the entire...
We need more Asian basketball players. Yeah. Shout out to Yao Ming.
Shout out to James Lin.
Why don't we have...
Right.
And we need more Asian football players. Why aren't we calling for a certain percentage of MMA fighters to be Hispanic?
You guys have a good amount of MMA fighters.
Yeah, Hispanics are more into boxing right now. I mean, we're getting some Hispanics, bruv. We've only had like 2 Mexican champions.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, one of them was American-born, and the other, we've only had 1 Mexican-born champion.
I only really care about the American-born ones. That's the cat from Florida, right?
Damn, bro.
What?
I'm American-born, bro.
What?
Barely, but American-born. Hey.
Yeah,
but I rep it.
Yeah, I really only care about the American ones. It's Vidal, right? Masvidal. Pardon.
No, Masvidal's Cuban.
Is he?
He's Cuban.
Really?
He's from Florida, bro.
Wait. No. I know who it is. Stand by, because it's not Kane. It's Diego, right?
Diego who?
What's my guy's name?
Diego Sanchez?
Yeah.
No, he's American-born.
That's what I said.
But I don't know if he was a champion. No, the first Mexican-born UFC champion was Brandon Moreno.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
He's the current.
You're 100% sure.
Yeah, because they made a big deal about it. He's the current UFC flyweight champion.
Stand by.
All right, he's going to go do his research. But anyways, back to what I was saying, right? It's like the Asians have to work so much harder just to get into the same university than somebody else who, yes, maybe they tried hard, but they didn't score as high. You know, and that's why I said earlier, if all the college application stuff was like all on a level playing field, then all these schools would be dominated by Asians. However, I will say that a counter argument to that is that, well, guess what? We don't all start from the same point in life, right? But guess what? Tough shit. That's fucking life. Some of y'all will never make it to Harvard, and that's okay. Some of y'all will never make it to MIT, and that's okay. But guess what? Just because you didn't go to Harvard or just because you didn't go to MIT doesn't mean you can't become a fucking millionaire, right? Because you got people like Elon Musk who didn't even fucking go to college, don't have a college degree. Maybe he did go to college, but he doesn't have a college degree because he famously said, I don't have a college degree, but I have people who have college degrees working for me. So yes, Elon Musk is one man out of several billion people. But just because you didn't go to this Ivy League school or whatever, hell, nowadays you can make so much money online just because just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you can't make a good living. So we need to get rid of this victim mentality start living like DJ Khaled, talking about we the best.
But it's not a victim mentality, Louise. Victim mentality is a real thing, but you know what? It's the everyone gets a trophy mentality.
Yeah, that too.
Everyone gets a trophy.
Participation trophy. We're all special butterflies.
Special. Cool. That's why they have to even it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. All right. So I think earlier, I'm not sure if I had done my producing, but now I got it. So
is also totally hostile to Judeo-Christian teachings, and in many ways it's resembling an established new religion. Can't let that happen. For this reason, my administration will aggressively pursue potential violations of the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause of the Constitution. That's very simple. Additionally,
I wonder if he knows what he's talking about. Because he lost me.
Yeah.
I'll keep it real.
I was going to say, you want to run this back, bro? Because, I'm not even going to cap, bro. I didn't catch that either. I'm happy you admitted it because I was like, what are you even talking about, bro?
And in many ways, it's resembles America. The Marxism being preached in our schools is also totally hostile to Judeo-Christian teachings, and in many ways, it's resembling an established new religion. Can't let that
establish new
For
religion.
this reason, my administration will aggressively pursue potential violations of the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause of the Constitution. That's very...
Well, I think what he's trying to say there is that they're teaching an ideology in schools that is detrimental to the religious teachings that maybe they get at home or whatever it may be. But at its core, right, even if I don't have that right, at its core, he's talking about Marxism. He's talking about Marxism being taught in schools. He's basically saying they're trying to program kids, right? High school kids, middle school kids, college kids, whatever it may be, right? And it's true because, you know, if you beat this stuff into people's heads, like they really will believe it, right? Because, yeah, man, I mean, even me, I remember when I was young, I didn't care too much about politics. Like even in high school, I didn't care too much about politics. But of course, it was a different time because we didn't have all the social media. Like we had it in high school, but in middle school, I didn't really use it, right? So, when you're young, a lot of things that just sound pretty, like you kind of go with it and you don't think about it too much. And because I used to be super blue, man. I used to be super Democrat. Yeah, I was like,
you?
Yeah, I was all for it, bro. You know, and you know what's funny is, because I make fun of these people now, right? But I was one of them too, but I made fun of it. When Obama was first running for president, they would ask people in the streets, like, yo, you know who's running for president? Oh, this guy and this guy and this guy. And like, oh, who do you think should win the presidency? Oh, Obama. Why? Because he's black. And it was like, really? That was the first answer you came up with? Like, full-grown adults, right?
Yep.
And it's like, wait, that's the first answer you came up with? That was your best reason? That was just because he's black. Like, you don't care about his qualifications. You don't care about what he's planning to do, right? Now, I was, well, what year was that? 2008? Bro, I was probably like, what, 15, right? So when I would say, oh, yeah, because he's black, I'm 15, bruv. I'm stupid. I don't know anything about life yet, right? So, yeah, and of course, I didn't really watch politics or anything relating to politics, really. But, yeah, of course, if I said, yeah, you should be president because he's black. You know, like we never had a black president. It'd be cool, right? But I'm not thinking about the economy and shit. I'm not paying bills yet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not grinding yet. So, of course, like, I'll give a dumbass answer like that. But, you know, nowadays, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably, like, think critically about, you know, oh, who are we going to vote for, this and that? Why? What are the reasons why? What's important to me? Do they represent my best interests? You know, things like that. But I was a dumb 15-year-old, and that's why I said that. But we had full-grown adults who were giving the exact same answer.
100%.
So yeah, when you're a kid, you know, a lot of things just sound pretty to you. And the thing is that if those ideas are just kind of being reassured by what they're teaching you at school, then you ended to be voting age. And then you might vote a certain way because it's what's been pounded into you for so many years. It sounded pretty in the beginning, and then they kept teaching me it. And then they kept telling me that this is the way. And now I'm over an adult, I can vote, I'm going to go do this, right? But sometimes you have to separate your feelings from the facts. Shout out to Ben Shapiro. He likes to say facts don't care about your feelings, and it's absolutely right. And you gotta think critically and look at the issues, right? And the issues are, guess what? We don't all start from the same place, and that's fine because that's life. We have zero control over that, right? But when it comes to applying to schools, some people get rewarded for less quality results, and some people get punished for being too good, right? So, anyways, continuing past this whole religious part that he was talking about.
Simple. Additionally, on day one, we will begin to find and remove the radical zealots and Marxists who have infiltrated the Federal Department of Education. And that also includes others, and you know who you are, because we're not going to allow anybody to hurt our children. Joe Biden has given these lunatics unchecked power. I will have them fired and escorted from the building, and I will tell Congress that any appropriations bill I sign must reaffirm the president's ability to remove defiant employees from the job. It's all about our children. I will veto the sinister effort to weaponize civics education. We will keep men out of women's sports, and we will create a new credentialing body that will be the gold standard anywhere in the world to certify teachers who embrace patriotic values, support our way of life, and understand that their job is not to indoctrinate children.
Okay, you know what? Pause.
He's going through a lot of stuff, bro. He's going through a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Dude.
All right. Number one, I just thought of something. You know, like all of this, CRT, gender studies, and I don't have anything against this.
Yeah.
But it's a time and it's a place. And in public schools, it is not the place. All this has gone down under Joe Biden's watch. This didn't happen under Trump. So I'm very critical when Trump talks because he likes to run off at the gums.
He's very aggressive too.
But at the end of the day, when I compare presidencies, it is what it is. A lot of this woke stuff, like, it exploded under Joe Biden. I think that our prior president, Mr. Trump, can help to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, and I know he said something about men being in women's sports.
Okay, so
yeah, and that's a big one because I like watching MMA, bruv, and there's not a lot of this issue in MMA, but and it's old news, but we have seen a transgender MMA fighter before who was a man, transitioned to a woman, and then decided to fight females in the cage
and proceed to whoop their ass.
That is just completely against like MMA like rules, because we have weight classes for a reason. Yes, they made the same weight, I guess they had to, right? But you make the same weight because you don't want one person to have a weight advantage on another person. That's why they have to make weight. And the issue is that now you have someone with a male body, which is just naturally stronger in most cases. And yes, they can take female hormones and it'll kind of bring them down a little bit or whatever, but it's never the same. They're never going to be the same. And especially in a sport like MMA, like, yes, I get that maybe, rowing or swimming or whatever is different because they're not touching each other. But in MMA, they're beating each other's faces in, bruv. Like, you can't, who let this happen? Who let this happen? It's straight haram. Unacceptable. And then if you're going to start doing that, look, here's the thing, right? I remember in, I think we had in our high school. No, it was middle school. I think in middle school, there was a girl who played football, like football on the men's football team, but it was middle school, right? And, but it wasn't transgender. It was just like a chick who decided she wanted to play football. All right, fine, play football, because they don't have a female football team, right? So they got to let her play on the men's. And I don't remember if she was good or not. I think she did all right. But that's one thing. But having like sports where, like MMA, where you got to fight each other, it's just MMA or boxing or any of that kind of stuff. Like, that's just too much for me. And in professional sports, recreational sports is one thing, but professional sports, like, nah, bro. There's a lot of money on the line. A lot of money. You know what I mean? But he's talking about schools. So recreational sports, you know.
The thing about it is, if these, okay, it's just like, you know, I like how Trump is very vague, right? He like says these people, and they know who they are. So I think that's what I'm going to start to refer to these people to as. Okay, so,
and you know who they are.
So these people, and you know who they are. Okay, well, if we're all the same, okay, then why don't we just eliminate male and female sports, make everything unisex, and then we see how many females are up in there, okay?
Bruh.
Okay? Like, let's see who is the best of the best, and let's see the ratio between men and women who make the team. Get the fuck up.
There was a comedian who made a joke about this, right? Because he was talking about LeBron and the WNBA, and they're like, you know, because they were complaining about not making as much money, and they were like,
bro, like the best WNBA team can't even beat
like a high school team.
They can't even beat a high school team. So how are they going to compete with the actual NBA players, the best males in the nation? How? Where you can't even beat, like.
But it's just straight business, right? Like, you don't bring in the same amount of viewers, you don't bring in the same amount of sponsors. You know, like, I think that there was like, somebody researched it, and they said the WNBA has just been bleeding money for like since it started.
The
and it's
NBA supports the WNBA.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, anyways, this has nothing to do with the video so far, but yeah. So let's watch the rest of it. Let's watch to see what else the big DT is going to talk about.
But very simply to educate them. Finally, I will implement massive funding preferences and favorable treatment for all states and school districts that make the following historic reforms in education. 1, abolish teacher tenure for grades K through 12 so we can remove bad teachers and adopt merit pay to reward good teachers. We want great teachers in our schools.
He's not done. He ain't done.
Drastic.
He's going to 2, right? So basically, remove the tenure so you can fire bad teachers, and then what he's saying, merit pay or something. Mm-hmm. So you pay more to the teachers that are just really good.
But what determines whether they're really good?
Well, yeah, you got to go through the details of that. There's got to be some kind of like several different metrics, like, to figure it out. Because you can't say like, oh, the students' grades are better because the teacher will just grade easier and get more money, right? But you know, there are stuff that you can, because they have like state exams and stuff, right? So like, if you see the school's average in like math goes up or something, you know, maybe that's like one way that they could see which group of teachers is doing good and stuff like that.
But you know what? Okay.
Because also you could take, like, say you have like, let's say there's 3 different algebra teachers for a grade, right? Somebody, third party, comes up with a math test, and then that same math test has to be given to all 3 classes, right? So now you can see which class averages a higher score. Over time, you do that enough times, right? Because you don't want to just do it once. But you do it enough times, you'll see like, okay, this teacher consistently has higher test averages than this other teacher. So maybe she's teaching them a different method and it's more effective, or whatever it may be, right? Like there's a lot of things they can do to figure out which teachers are doing a better job, right? You know, they can go sit in on a class and watch it. You know, they can, I don't know if people have cameras in classes. I mean, I know in the university, some classrooms have cameras in them, maybe all of them do. I'm not sure, but I don't think they do that in high schools. Maybe some do, but there's all kinds of ways you can figure out which teacher's doing better, which I think is good, right? Because if you're gonna do the whole teacher pay rate, like Florida was talking about teacher pay raises and this and that, a good way to do it is merit based, right? Like the better job you do, the more we're gonna reward you monetarily, and then if you are messing up, we can fire you because you ain't got tenure. We can get you out of here. Boom. So I don't think that's a bad idea, actually. You know what I mean? We just need I think, I'm not sure if this is true or not. This is just me from things that I've heard.
Like, I think that's a bad idea.
I think that from things that I've heard,
it's good and bad.
it's hard to get more teachers now. Like, not as many people want to become teachers.
Yo, doing these badass kids. Look,
Yeah, badass.
the thing about it is, bro.
So why would you say it's a bad idea though to like remove tenure? And
okay,
because that's interesting. I want to see a different perspective.
all right, it's a good and it's a bad idea. Well, not necessarily tenure, but merit based, and allow me to explain.
Mhm. So you don't have a problem with the tenure, taking away the tenure and firing bad teachers?
Yeah, I really don't have a problem with that. But
Okay.
yeah, like that, it could be worked out,
Okay.
right? But regarding the merit base,
That is a very complicated
because
system.
the thing about it is in our school system,
You got some badass kids. that might affect
so for example, if we were able to kick kids out of public schools, public, not private,
Yeah.
public schools, for them being a hindrance to the other children. Okay. All right, now we could
Kicking
talk.
kicking kids out of public school.
Like, yeah, because
Now, where do we send them when we kick them out of public school?
Go fuck. To I don't know, to juvie. I don't know.
The juvie? Is that
Bro,
the-
like the thing about it is, it's you have children to where their parents send there as some type of like as some type of babysitting service,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
They don't belong there because none of the instruction that they are getting at school is being backed up at the house.
Okay.
So if it's not being backed up at the house, then you have these parents that are just as, like, they're enablers, just as bad as the fucking kids. The parents need to be put in detention.
So you're saying bad parents are causing the kids to do terrible in school,
I'm saying,
and so then you just kick the kids out of school.
no, I'm saying that as a country and as like the public schools in general, they don't have enough control.
Yeah.
So for example, if one of the stipulations of you sending your kid to a public school, say, you know what, this is a public school. We are going to instruct your kids the way the state wants them to be instructed, point blank, period.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if I have to break out the ruler, then I got to break out the ruler. If you don't like it, then take them the fuck out.
No, yeah, they used to do that. I don't know if they still do, but they used to do that when I was in elementary school.
I got the ruler.
There was a I never got the ruler right, but there was a kid who I remember got whipped a couple times. Yeah, homie came back, watery ass eyes and shit. But yeah.
If your kid isn't being disciplined in the house, well, shit, then, if he's going to attend public school, well, then he'll get disciplined there. How's that?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's oh man, excuse me. No, yeah, that's I get what you're saying.
Now once we instill some discipline and some order into these public schools, because when you go to particular areas, so when you go to certain areas,
Public schools are a mess. Yeah.
public schools are trash, and you can't say that it is the teachers.
I mean, there's even movies about it, bro, like the Freedom Riders.
Yeah, you got that. You got Lean on Me.
Yeah.
So for example, like my best childhood friend, his major was physics, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And he thought about becoming a teacher. So he did some time as a substitute, and then he did some time as like a intern teacher or whatever. And it was over in like the Philly area, predominantly black neighborhood. And let me tell you about these badass kids, right? So not only did they look up like his Facebook profile, right, which is his fault for having it public.
Yeah.
But they looked up the Facebook profile, saw his girlfriend talking about, oh, Mr. So and so, you clapping them cheeks, Mr. So and so, da 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 da, right, right, right. You know, so they're doing that,
bruh.
They're fucking throwing condoms at the back of girls' heads.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, man. These little heathens are out of control.
Oh, God.
Play with some haram.
Haram!
Okay. Look. All right. They're out of control.
That is straight haram, bro. Straight haram.
Out of control. And in these particular areas, especially the areas that have no man in the house, these kids can't be controlled.
That's true.
If you don't give them the authority to do so.
That's true. There is no discipline, yeah.
So in order for this to be implemented regarding the merit base, they need to give these teachers some weapons. And I'm not talking about like actual like guns.
Teaching weapons.
Like
teaching weapons.
but some
discipline.
but a little bit of an arsenal, you know, in order to further
I
control them.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right, so
That's what I was trying to get at.
yeah. All right, so let's we're gonna go through the rest of the video because we're 50 minutes in and we've only got like over 2 minutes of the
Quarters.
No, it's fine, because that's what the people are here for. They're here for long form content. If you're watching the video, you're here for long form content, and if you're not watching this right now, it's because you watched our shorts. That's why.
Cut the bloated number of school administrators, including the costly, divisive, and unnecessary diversity, equity, and inclusion bureaucracy. 3, adopt a parental bill of rights that includes complete curriculum transparency and a form of universal school choice. And 4, implement the direct election of school principals by the parents.
Wait a minute.
Transparency and a form of universal school choice. And 4, implement the direct election of school principals by the parents. It's all about the parents for their children. More than anyone else, parents know what their children need.
So they're talking about the parents get to choose the principal of the school.
I don't know how he's going to implement that.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't have a lot of thoughts about that. It's an interesting thought, but and then also what he said was universal school choice, which I know a lot of parents would love to have that, right?
Wait, so in regards to universal school choice,
okay, so I'm making an assumption here, right? And I'm assuming that it means that the parents could choose which school their kids are going.
Oh, hell no.
Right.
That's a hell no.
Right.
No, like, look, hold on. We're going to fight letting word to...
No, let's watch this part back. Let's just make sure we heard him right. Let's make sure that we heard what he...
Bureaucracy. 3, adopt a parental bill of rights that includes complete curriculum transparency and a form of universal school choice.
Okay, universal school choice. So this is a big no for Ben. Why is it a no?
Because, all right, like, there has to be school districts. So I don't know what he necessarily means by universal school choice. Right now, Luis is actually looking it up. But in my mind, universal school choice is you are able to send your children to any school within a particular area, correct? That's what I'm taking it as.
Well, let's see.
Maybe I'm wrong. That's why Luis is looking it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up, but it says that it appears to be like a red state thing. Because it said a lot of red states want to do it, but
what is it?
It doesn't say
exactly what it is.
No.
Okay, so we'll do some further research regarding this, and then we'll probably come back. But from what it sounds, it's like if, like, it sounds as though you're trying to eliminate school zones.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking it as.
Yeah. And you don't like that. Why?
Why?
Because everybody's going to send their kid to one specific,
Yes.
whichever the leg bus.
Because I moved to a particular area to make sure that my kids stay away from your kids.
Mm-hmm. But now they can come from all the way over there.
I don't want your kid to come to the school where my kids are.
I get what you're saying.
Everyone in my neighborhood is in a 2-parent household. We make a certain income. We have certain values. So I don't want your kids with their values mixing in with my kid with my values.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here on discovery.org, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's talking about Arizona, and this was pretty recent, I guess. It says September 27th, 2022. It says Arizona governor recently signed universal school choice into law, affording 1.1 million K-12 students in the state the opportunity to receive $7,000 in an empowerment scholarship account. Students can apply the annual funds to cover expenses of the learning avenue of choice: private school, micro school, learning pod, homeschool, virtual school, hybrid, or a host of other expenses such as tutoring, curriculum, technology, or other learning supplies. So I don't know if this is the same universal school choice that Trump is talking about, or if it's going to be different. But this is just what Arizona was doing. So, because it says as of 2022, Arizona public school revenue, including federal, state, and local, averages $10,000 per student. So, with the new competition, public schools will, for the first time in history, be held responsible for justifying why they need $3,700 more per student than their alternative K-12 providers. So it seems like it's turning into like a free market type thing, and then it's like people got to compete for students. You know what I mean? So that's an interesting proposal there. But if it's literally just like picking which school you can go to, no go on that.
I love her.
Because it's zoned, right? Like,
Yes. So
determines where you live, determines which schools you're going to go to.
that's correct.
Yeah.
And I remember back in my home state, and I'm sure that happens all over, that
People use fake addresses?
people use fake addresses.
Yes, sir.
And I think that you should send officials there
To verify?
7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. to make sure that they're at the actual address.
That's a lot of expenditure, though. You pay somebody to go do all that. But all right, let's see. Let's finish up.
And for implement the direct election of school principals by the parents. It's all about the parents for their children. More than anyone else, parents know what their children need. If any principal is not getting the job done, the parents should be able to vote to fire them and select someone who will. This will be the ultimate form of local control. Our country has, frankly, never had anything like it, or let's say for at least the last 50 years. As the saying goes, personnel is policy, and at the end of the day, if we have pink-haired communists teaching our kids, we have a major problem. When I'm president, we will put parents back in charge and give them the final say. We will get back to teaching reading, writing, and math, called arithmetic, and we will give our kids the high-quality pro-American education they deserve. We spend more per pupil than any nation in the world by double. We're going to keep spending the money, but we're now going to get our money's worth. We're at the end of every list on education, and yet we spend the most. We're going to change it around. We may spend the most, but we're going to be tops in education, no matter where you go, anywhere in the world.
Pause the video. Do you have some stop the cat sound?
No, I don't want to stop the cat.
I'll do it. Stop the cat. Look. There's
You are fake news.
you are fake news. That's fake news.
Yeah.
I love Mr. Trump, but that's fake news, Mr. Trump. There's no
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
yeah, like there's no way, because unless you control, like, unless you give these teachers more authority over these children, you know what's going to happen? These parents are going to come up here and say, why are my children doing badly? You know, and then it's going to be up to the teacher to explain them, to explain themselves why little Billy is getting a D and little Billy's a fucking badass.
Hey, well,
okay. So in order for American students to be tops, first we have to be disciplined, and the kids don't have any discipline.
They got no discipline.
Okay, so first we need to start with that, Mr. Trump. So
not having discipline is haram, bro. I'm at the haram.
Haram. Okay, so first we need to start there. First you start with the structure. Okay, so that's going to take some power away from the parents. So you're being contradictory, because if the parents knew what was best, like if they were able to do it themselves, and if they knew what was best, and they would actually enforce some discipline, some good habits at the house to where their kids would be able to perform.
And you know, when we talk about all these things, it always goes back to the house, right? It always goes back to the home, especially for the kid stuff, right? Always goes back to the home. But when it goes back to the home, the point is that kids need mothers and fathers, right? Because they learn different things from mothers and fathers. And it's a better household when you have a mother and a father, right? And I know there's things where there's unhealthy relationships, and it's better for it to just be separate than to be an unhealthy relationship in front of a child. But we're not talking about the exceptions. We're talking about the rule, right? And the rule is kids do better in a two-parent household. Kids do better with a mother or father, right? Kids do better when they have people to discipline them, right? So this means that the adults have to start doing their part so that the kids can then do what they need to do and do it effectively, right? So we need fathers in the home, we need mothers in the home, we need discipline to be at the core, and a lot of people need religion, whether they are if you want to be atheist or agnostic or whatever, that's fine. But I think that people who are religious, regardless of which religion it is, that they can, that it'll help their lives. And I don't mean that you say, oh, I'm Christian, but you're not actually Christian. You're just born into a Christian family. You don't practice it, but you were born into a Christian family. So you're like, oh, I'm Christian. It doesn't really work that way, right? Like if you are a certain religion, that's great. Right? Be that religion. Now, I'm not saying everybody's perfect. I'm not saying you have to be perfect. However, there's some things that are very important when it comes to relationships, when it comes to self-improvement, when it comes to discipline. And religion, I think regardless of religion, gives you a lot of those things. So you can be a Hindu, you could be a Muslim, you could be a Jewish, you could be Christian, you could be different denominations of Christian. You could be a Sikh, or however they say it. I'm sorry, Sikh, Buddhist, whatever. But I think they give you it gives you a guide of how to live your life, So if somebody doesn't want to be religious, that's fine. Don't be religious, Find your own discipline, find your own path, If you want to be agnostic, do that. If you want to be atheist, do that. But if you want to be religious and there's a religion that you feel connected to, go ahead and practice it. Read the religious text. See how it guides you, because a lot of them are so similar, right? Especially like Christianity and Islam and the Abrahamic religions, which I think are like the most common in North America, anyways. But yeah, so it all goes back to the home, man. We got to do better in the home, because that will spread. You do better in the home, the kids grow up, they meet other people who did well in the home. They have families with those people because their values align, and then you'll change your generation. And over time, you can change an entire community. You can change, your entire bloodline just because of the decisions that you made today. But it all starts with you getting up in the morning. First, you got to make your goddamn bed. After that, brush your teeth twice a motherfucking day. See, I'm giving y'all game, $1 billion game. I wish I had an OG like me when I was your age to help you out in life. You ain't got to go through trial and error. Now, back to what I was saying, the art of getting big is discipline. Okay, we were talking about getting big, right? But shout out to Kali Muscle. That's from his song Get Big on Spotify and iTunes. And I think you got it on YouTube too. Yeah, no, it's great. Hey, but he's right? Like it starts in the house, bro. Get up in the morning, make your bed, get your workout in, go back home, shower, brush your teeth, stare at yourself in the mirror and say, we the best 3 times or 5 times or until you believe it, and then go out and attack the day, bro. It all starts in the home, bro. And like now, honestly, I don't even feel good no more because I've been too serious for too long. I ain't made no jokes recently, but anyways, yeah, it all goes back to the home. But I think Donald said a lot of good things. I don't think we really disagree with too much besides the whole the public the plan for the education where he was going to make the universal school choice, and then
Still have no idea what that means.
yeah, I mean whatever his ideal version of that is, we'll have to check it out. But I don't think we what the fuck is that word? We don't disagree too much, man. How did I forget that word, bro? What time is it? It's 5:30 in the morning, y'all. We pumping out content for y'all, man, at 5:30 in the morning. And no, we didn't go to bed last night. We've been awake all night, baby. So,
For real.
yeah. So I don't think we disagree with too much. It was just that part, and maybe the part about, we're gonna spend the same and get a better result. But of course, there's all kinds of details to this, man. Because we're gonna say one thing like, hey, we're gonna merit-based reward system for the teachers, but the actual policy for that is gonna be this many pages long. So, we still yet to see, but yeah, and it's gonna be interesting seeing another presidential race with Donald Trump there. So we'll see how he does. I want to see a debate, bro. Like if DeSantis runs, I want to see the debate stage, what that's gonna look like, bro.
Like I
Just wait until we do our live streams with the debates going on, bro. This is gonna be crazy, bro. It's gonna be crazy. No, we're gonna have a good time ahead of us. So go ahead and subscribe now. Hit the notification bell. All right, because if you don't, look, if you subscribe and you don't hit the notification bell, that's straight haram, bro. Haram. You got to hit both. All right.
I can't wait for him to get out of jail.
Now, you can't. Ooh, another controversial opinion. Now, if you have any other videos that you want to react, or if you have any other videos that you want us to react to, or you think we should give our thoughts in it, just go ahead and leave a comment down below in the comment section. Also, you can check out our other videos. And before we head out of here, Benjamin, what do you have left for everybody? Do you have any last thoughts on this video? Anything that we didn't say? Anything that we didn't cover?
Oh, no, I think that you pretty much covered it. Donald Trump said a lot. I like a lot of what he said.
Very interesting.
Do I think that he'll be able to get it done? Maybe half. Regarding the schools and us being tops, that's a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
So unless the parents are willing to give the public schools more authority over their badass kids, specifically in the lower income neighborhoods. I'm not talking about upper middle class wealthy, obviously, right? But the school systems that needs the help, the parents are going to need to humble themselves. Humble themselves and say, you know what? Here's my child. Within reason, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to back you up. Because if the parent doesn't back the teacher up, then
there's a lot of parents who...
how are we going to be tops?
Yeah, there's a lot of parents who get mad at teachers because they... Like, I saw a meme one time. It was like back in the day, it used to be like the kid came home and was like being scolded by their parents and like, why do you have this bad grade? Right. And then the new school way was, why'd you give my kid a bad grade? Yeah, exactly. So it's like they're shifting the blame, right? So yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with anything you just said right there. So yeah, anything else?
That's it.
Anything else before closing time? Let me hit that. Boom. Oh God, man, I've been too serious in this video, man. I haven't roasted nobody in this video, but whatever, bro, whatever. We'll get it next time. But yeah, guys, like I said, subscribe to the channel, like the video, it helps the algorithms. And make sure to hit that notification bell because pretty soon we're going to be going live, and that's going to be so much more fun because we'll get to see your comments in real time and we get to have more of a conversation instead of this just a one-way video podcast. But yeah, if in the meantime, if you want to leave a comment, anything that we said here, anything that you disagree with, anything that you agree with, any thoughts you may have, and also if you have any video suggestions for, future episodes, okay? So until next time, this has been Luis, a.k.a. Typhoon, a.k.a. the Korean Typhoon. Just kidding, nobody calls me that. And Benny, your Ox team leader, or a.k.a. I don't know what else you get called, but
Oh no, I think I'm just gonna stick with Benjamin.
Benjamin.
I like
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We're using government names, semi-government names. Not really, but whatever. All right, guys, we'll catch y'all later. Take it easy. Peace.
Peace.